It's the SWP Disciple checking in. I wasn't going to record a video, but look at that sky. So, dusk is upon us. Wow, that's pretty. It's like a magenta almost. So off to the gym. I got a nice break. Well, I mean, it is 6:49 still. I was off at 6. Would have liked it to be more like, say, 6:20. But given how the last few weeks have been going, I haven't been like getting to the gym until like 8 or so. So this is considered a nice early break off to the gym, which means that I should be back in time to maybe do some light studying for the LSAT of all things again. We're almost in October, so my target was always to begin in October, and we are on September 29th right now. Happy birthday to, I mean, not like she's listening, but to a special person out there. Man, the year is truly a blur. Can't believe we're almost in October. But yeah, big birthday to a friend of mine, old friend. What was I gonna say? So yeah, off to the gym this weekend. What did I do? I always look forward to the weekends, but don't get a whole hell of a lot done. For some reason, work on Saturday turned into like a full day. I was there like 9:30. Well, I had to get up early because of my to get my haircut, my barber appointment, which allowed me to get to the shop early. But I didn't leave until like 5, so I was there from like 9:29 to 5. So it was basically like a full day of work. I talked to my boss, the shop owner. Clearly won't be able to do that next year because that was part of what conspired toward my grades not being what they should have. So I gotta still cut back because I'd basically taken a pay cut, via not doing any overtime at my main job, which wasn't much, but it was like enough because class was like right at 6, and of course I told you my boss would let me leave a little early to get to class on time, so I was always getting into class like 6:15, 6:18 or so. My professors were okay with it because I had informed them prior. I don't think I missed that much information in the first 15 minutes of class, but still, everything kind of like comes together like a jigsaw puzzle, so it all matters. But the only other place that I can cut really is like working on Saturdays. Lately I've been going in Thursday evenings just to help with like mass health classes. Clearly I won't be able to do that anymore. That's really just extra money anyway. It's like an extra like 3 hours on a Thursday night. But the Saturdays I'll probably have to do like every other weekend, or maybe just a 4-hour shift, like 10 to 3. The shop closes at 3 technically, but usually I'm there like an hour or two after we close to handle some lab stuff and mass health, which comes like 160, 200 at a time in terms of like glasses that have to be checked in, verified, like under the lensometer, neutralized, bagged and called. So it's literally per like 150, 160. I remember some time ago, I think it was last year, I took my requisite last 2 weeks of the year off, and I was just assigned just to that. I worked like basically like a full 40-hour week for 2 weeks in a row just for some extra money while taking PTO at my other job, at my main job. And it took what I just described there like a full 13 hours. It was just me to churn through all like 150 glasses. So it's a beast. And obviously like interspersed, that was like 13 hours like on the clock, not counting like other time like on the floor selling glasses, making glasses or whatever. Just that assignment, like 13 hours. Definitely something that needs to be broken up and assigned to several people. But anyway, this week, what do I have on deck? So, work. I'll start studying. I actually have a friend that I'm trying to, she wants to go to law school. She actually wanted to go to law school before me, but the school that I got into, Western New England, didn't accept her because her LSAT was like a 148, so a little below standard. And I'm trying to push her to like take it again, and then we can study together as I have what is already becoming, right? So, I anticipate a year off. It could be longer, but it's probably going to be a year. Oh, actually, I do have news. I have to I'll tell you just after this. And it'd be nice to have like a kindred spirit that's going through the same program as me now. I have done a year already. We'll see if I have to do those over again. I shouldn't, because all my grades were like good. Like I didn't get any like C minuses, D's, or F's or anything like that. So they should be good, but you never know how they're gonna screw you. The more I talk to people about my situation, it seems like it was a bit of a screw job, and there's someone behind the scenes, some shadowy figure, that was like, you know, I don't know if Disciple is really like law school material. Let's see if he really wants it, and then push him back, whatever. Because for .04, it, you know, this shouldn't have happened, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. But I am already in my my prison sentence, if you will, because you know classes start like in August. If you want to look at it ambitiously, I only have like another like maybe 10 and a half months to wait, so it's already flying by. So that tells me that, like, you know, this isn't as bad as it could be. You know, obviously it's a little bit of like positive thinking, you know, manifesting spin, if you will. But it also is like the real thing, and I also got to like get on it and, like, you know, for my program, you know, study, so that way I'd like to retake the LSAT like in January or March. I think February it's off. So my good news is that the law office that I'm going to be working with, basically like in like a couple weeks or so, he's good friends with the dean at my school, and actually I think their ages line up. I think they might have actually gone to Western New England at the same time, because I think they both went to Western New England, and he's like really good buddies with him. So he said he talked to him, and he said they have a program. Obviously they can't promise you anything either way, but he basically kind of like wink is going to give me a program, so like, you know, I get back in next year. Of course I'm still going to hedge and apply other places. There's like realistically two other suitors, if I get my ducks in a row. And honestly my like 154 LSAT is probably enough, but I would love to get up to like a 160, and that will open up some options, maybe even create like a bit of a, I don't know if bidding war is the right term, but you know what I mean. And then the other part to it is my scholarship. So, you know, I had a scholarship that was like just over 50%. I don't know if me coming back, if I lose that, or if I'm represented, or if they look at my new LSAT score or whatever. There's like so many possibilities. So as it is, you know, and you have 6 months after, you know, being separated from enrollment to, like, you know, start repaying. I already am, but like it officially is on the books in, I guess, November, December. So that'll be another, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but that's still like another like $450 in overhead that I have to contend with. So a lot of moving parts. I have, you know, other things on my mind, but I am almost at the gym. It's funny how you know, sundown dusk works, right? So we went from like a purple sky, magenta, whatever you want to call it, to just in that short drive. I've only been driving for about like 8 minutes, not even, because I was like in my driveway when I started filming, and it's already basically night. But yeah, so there's gonna be some changes next year. I'm gonna have to like tighten my belt and spend less. Not that I'm just all willy-nilly, just all over the place, but I do eat out a lot. So that's the first area where I can trim some cost. Now, I don't like leftovers, and I know this is gonna sound weird. I don't really like home cooking for the most part. Not just my folks. My folks cook perfectly fine. They're excellent cooks, actually. But I, in general, don't like that, you know, that mealy, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you know the difference between food that's cooked at home and then what you get at a restaurant. Now, of course, the way they compensate at a restaurant is they like over sauce it, they over salt it, over season it, and all that, and it's just very like rich and succulent, zesty, even, pause. So that's the reason, you know, it's just bad for you, which is the reason why even like something like a salad has like too much dressing and whatever, and that's why everything at a restaurant generally tastes better than what you make at home. But yeah, that's one of my crosses to bear. I don't really like home cooked food for the most part. You know, it's usually like a couple days a week that I'll just punt it, just because, you know, you can't eat out every day. But I'll have to drastically cut down. This used to be Stop and Shop right here, which is now closed. Kind of weird. I wonder what's coming here. So Stop and Shop is like our big like supermarket conglomerate. You know, if it were Florida, it would be like Publix. But yeah, so definitely like discipline is not my strongest suit, but I'll have to employ a lot of that. And I've identified some areas where I can carve out like more study time, just simple things like just going to like getting some sleep at night, right? So I don't feel as like sluggish and just kind of stay in bed and nap between calls or whatever. Like I'll just get to the library by like 1 and then just spend the rest of the time in the library, and then obviously I can run up to class afterwards. But presumably usually our evenings are a little slower than the mornings. Like usually our mornings are fairly hectic. I'm the early guy from like 9:30 to like 11, basically 11:30. So I get all the early calls. Consequently, I push the most volume on the team. Though I don't seem to get the credit I probably deserve from my manager, but that's a whole other can of worms. But in the slower evenings on my like evening lunch or break, whatever, I'll just go to the library, and that's an instant extra 2 hours of study per day right there. So that's like 10 hours right there. That should go a long way. That should do me right. But obviously it's like baby steps. I'll see this program that my Attorney Burstein's gonna put me on. That's whose law offices I'll be working at. He's gonna like write the letter for me. He's actually gonna give me a salary too, which happy to say I don't necessarily need it. Obviously I can always use more money, but I was just gonna work for him for free. But he's like, yeah, we'll pay you, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. But he's also a buddy of mine, so he's really doing me a solid. I've known him for like 20 years. So I don't know, things are looking up, though a lot of steps to go. Again, I'm trying to make my way to heaven, right? So my friend, we'll call her T. She really wants to go to law school. She's been stymied, which I don't understand. She has like a PhD from University of Miami, and she's like a tenured professor at a college around here. I won't say which one. And so she's bright. I think her issue with the LSAT is kind of like much like mine. Like she has like a whole other life and probably isn't dedicating as much time to it. She only took it one time. And like kind of low-key refuses to take it again. I'm like, no, you got to take it again. Let's get you in there. You're smart. You can get in there. So that'll be nice. That'll be like my nice little like pay it forward into the universe. Many years ago, back when I was in high school, so 28 years ago, a buddy of mine, we'll call him S, and a mutual friend of ours, we'll call him J. He was going to like not graduate. We graduated. We walked. June. Was it June or May? End of school year, 97. And he was just going to chalk it up and just, go get a GED or whatever. And I don't know, work as like a short order cook or something like that. And my boy S, he like willed him to, and all he needed was some gym credits. Like he failed gym, if you can believe that. And he made him take summer school so that way he could, I think that allowed him to walk, and then he got his degree later that year. And that's all it was. And basically I still remember that, like he willed him, he just stayed on him. He was literally just willing to just kind of like let it go by the boards. He wasn't really an academic anyway, blah, 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 blah. So obviously this is on like a significantly higher level, but same premise. I would love to see her, go to law school. She's easily smart enough. So, but that's like a side mission. Let me get myself back in there, first, and then I can, it's almost like, saving like a drowning person, like, make sure you're safe first so that way you can pull them to safety. But yeah, enough of a ramble. You saw, if you recognize the mapping of my area, you recognize that I drove by the gym. So I'm going to circle back, and yeah, hope you're all well. The Lord is faithful. Stay with me. God bless.